Hi, it's Joy, and today I'm going to be watching Supergirl Season 6, Episode 20, Kara. The most perfect name for this finale of this beautiful show. I am in a weird... It doesn't feel real to me that this is going to be the last ever episode of Supergirl. I am so thankful for this show. It has caused me pain over the years, it has caused me a lot of love over the years, but Kara's character has always been a character that has just spoken to me so much. She has meant the world to me. Following her on her journey has been a really beautiful experience, a really inspirational experience, and I'm just clinging on to the hope that I'm pretty sure Melissa has said that she's not, totally opposed to the idea of one day maybe donning the cape again for a guest appearance. She might even maybe watch The Flash again, you never know. But no, I'm excited to watch this episode because despite some past wobbles, I have faith in this team that they're not gonna, end it with Kara in prison with everyone hating her, or end it with Kara dead, My key thing with this finale that I want is for them to honour the show, honour the legacy of the show, to bring back characters. Now, I'm very excited about this, I'm not gonna lie and pretend I don't know. I'm pretty sure characters like Wynn and Monel, maybe even Cat Grant. I haven't seen that one confirmed, but I'm like, it makes sense. Anyone that has been a major part of the show that isn't currently in it, I am pretty sure they're going to be in the episode. Basically, I just want every character that we care about, so basically now, not Lex and Nixley, to be happy at the end of this episode. And however they are happy, I'm okay with that. I have my pipe dreams, I have the things I want for them, but, we've got most of that in the sense that Alex has a family with Kelly. And I think the wedding might be in this episode, but I'm stressed about how we're going to defeat Nixley, but I have faith that this show's message is hope. Kara's message is hope. She is somebody that can inspire hope in the world, in the darkest of places, and given that they made this season knowing we were going through COVID hell, if they were like, lol, then we killed everyone, they would have a lot of answering to do. So I'm very, very hopeful going into this episode. I am sad going into this episode. I'm excited. Reminder that you can find the unedited version of this reaction and all of my reactions on my Patreon. And let's go one last time into Supergirl to watch the episode called Kara.
Pushed you towards science. Over time you forgot.
Hey, I'm dying, but here's one final wallop of betrayal.
But I was trying to help the family. To help you.
No, you were right the first time, to help the family.
You're not owning that power fully, and you need to forget about Lex.
Jesus, you literally are dying for him.
I needed time to think.
Must have been so emotional on set.
That it was my job, my mission to
But
save
people
them.
can help save
I
themselves.
believed it was my calling. We need to be partners.
Yes, I like
we need
this.
To actively empower
I love
every
this.
single person
Good.
to be the hero of their own life. Villains are tapping into your collective life force. They're trying to siphon your truth, hope, courage.
Is this going to be translated for those that don't understand
Humanity. They're trying
English?
to your destiny. They think that you're helpless.
Supergirl.
They
Yeah.
don't realize
This is
your power
Kara.
is innate. Together, we will defeat the powers of darkness.
Yes.
Together.
This is Kara's truth, her inspiration, and I love it so much.
Together, we will create a better world.
If only that could happen in the real world too.
It worked.
The news has already changed. Oh, they're not goblins anymore, that's nice. Lex, you were in love with her 5 minutes ago. This is beautiful.
The people of
Bring the gladiators.
Jesus Christ. It's like all our old enemies. All things we faced in the past, from season 1 through to...
The balance of
We have got this team. We've defeated all these bastards before.
no touching without consent.
I'm gonna miss these characters so much. Own your power.
your big speech made the history books.
He's still using his cape work. Monel just threw legs out a window and it was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. This is just beautiful. So beautiful.
unpunishable faux pas.
Not by you.
Thank you, Andrea. You're so pathetic. Oh, come on, my beautiful team. I love them all so much.
Mitch, right on time for once.
Well, he's reclaiming his power because she's been using him.
Relationships.
Oh
I'm with them now.
my god, this is everything.
Ah, the two with the good hair. This should be fun.
All of us.
Yep, I love this so much. You don't understand how much this means to me. Just all of these characters together fighting.
You two ready to give up? I'm not going anywhere.
Neither are we.
You can count us in too.
Oh, the people are standing up and partnering. So we could have had this whole team. We could have had Win on a Jeremy Dormant leaf. We could have Monel there from the whole time. It could have been glorious with everyone. They are taking their power back. I love this so much. I'm so emotional right now.
Endless funeral.
Please just grab Lex and go home.
Why are they attacking us?
Phantoms prey on fear. And there's no greater cover for fear than hubris.
Yes! Oh, Nixley, I do feel bad for you. That's everything! I do feel awful for Nixley back in the Phantom Zone, but it's her own actions that led her there. Her own choices along the way. Oh, William. Please say we are just going to get the second half of this episode to be our wrapping up the world. Is no one else wanting to come to his funeral?
Amazing man who lived by his convictions.
We'll hold him in our hearts forever.
Mm-hmm.
Set up an award in his honor.
He deserved to get to live, to see this world.
Reconstitute the DEO. Booyah. Right?
He's right.
I'm from the future. I'm from the future.
Win, I love you.
Stopping Lex and Nixley, we proved that
I love that Andrea just gets to know who everyone is now.
Terrestrial.
To empower themselves and
Exactly,
each other.
and some of the red
That
tape
wasn't
helps stop them
an
from doing the
all-purpose cure
things
for the problems on this
that
planet. Good feelings
overstep the
don't last
mark.
forever. So we can accomplish the best in all of us. Not as vigilantes, but as civil servants.
Good.
Not
Good.
as superheroes.
This is just such a beautiful future that these characters get to have.
They're coming to the wedding, right?
Yes, of course I wouldn't miss it for the world.
They can time travel, they can visit
You
whenever.
gonna make it?
You realize right now, but it changed the course of our future. Empowering everyone to be the hero of their own life.
That's so beautiful.
You inspire us. Always.
This is much nicer closure than we got in season 3.
You've always been the girl of my dreams.
I'm so sad for them. It's like Kelly and Alex get to live happily ever after and everyone else just gets averagely happy. But with a bright future. And that's what I love.
Local business leaders have banded together to create a rope.
People are inspirational. Kara can have a life. And she can take a break.
Do you know who I despise, Kira?
Oh my goodness.
I'm only going to report on what's essential. Oh, right. I forgot to tell you, I am hiring you as my new editor-in-chief, and the contract...
Yes, Kara. Oh, this is so true. And the world will cope without her.
Okay, I gotta go.
She's having a crisis. She wants to talk to her big sister about it.
She bought Catco back from Andrea. You're kidding. Nope. And she offered me a job. As
She kind of told you to have the job.
Cara, that's your dream job. I really do my best because I was always sneaking off to be Supergirl, and that hasn't changed. If anything, it's going to be worse because I will have much more responsibility now.
Your responsibilities as Supergirl have changed because you're no longer shouldering that burden of protecting the planet on your own. Maybe there's a world where you can do both.
Try.
Doing both will all... What would I do without you?
I love them so much.
Thank you.
Alex deserves this happy ending.
Guys,
You get all the hugs.
Dad would be so proud of you.
Dad would be so proud of you too.
She's gonna cry. Weddings are emotional days.
Excuse me, miss. You don't happen to have a +1 to this event, do you?
What are you doing here? It does destroy the future.
That's the thing about the future. It hasn't been written yet.
I mean, he might not exist if the future gets changed too much, but that is lovely. Oh, are they gonna sing? I'm not emotionally prepared. I love this. Clara gets to sing at all the weddings. Oh, bless her. She gets to be part of such a beautiful, happy day.
Kelly is Alex's missing puzzle piece.
So beautiful.
They complement each other.
Her little baby gets to grow up surrounded by this love.
Balance.
You and Esme have created a life
She's just...
for me that
I love it for them. They deserve it so much. And that little girl deserves to get to be part of this beautiful day and to see the love she's a part of.
So, I promise.
Wife and wife.
Yes.
Let me kiss the bride. You know, hopefully the new one will be a beacon of peace, not violence.
It will be. At least that's what yours and McGonn's son tells us.
Rin!
Papa Bear.
My son?
Meddling!
Uncle Jimmy!
And I figured I would continue the tradition.
I love it. And I love you.
I love you too.
That baby.
Now, let's show you how to...
We would really love for you to be Esme's godmother.
Oh.
I mean, I was just happy being the really cool aunt, but yes.
I love you. Oh, we love you.
I am so happy for Lena. Everything she's overcome, that she gets to be a part of this family.
Miss you guys. I miss the three of us together.
Yeah,
How it started.
Yeah. You guys remember that room?
Never felt whole.
Oh.
I have different sides to myself. Mine are like two different people. But the two parts of me just... they don't really go together.
Is she gonna finally be like Supergirl? I know that.
At my sister's wedding ring.
A secret, and it's obstructing your life, and it's not serving you anymore. So screw it.
Not that simple, Miss Grant. You can't understand. I don't.
Oh, you're Supergirl.
Finally!
I hope that you will choose to become your full self. Because
This is
that
a
would
huge
really be
step.
something to see.
1, 2, go!
Brainy, she's sending you a message.
100% chance Nia and I will be getting married.
Very lovely.
I think hiding who I am is the reason I couldn't pass the courage gauntlet.
That's what I've been saying since that
I created
episode.
Supergirl that night because the thought of saving my sister as myself was too terrifying. What if I let myself just be who I am and someone gets hurt? Can't always be our savior, Kara.
This is an important lesson. And Kara, my darling, you are both sides of yourself now with Lena. You always have been with Alex. You are with John, with Wynn, with Brainy, with Nia, with Mon-El, with your mum.
You have pushed me the most.
You're my only one that's attempted to brainwash the whole world. But ultimately, yes, you are the best friend.
You've made me a better person.
It's what the best friendships do. I love you, Kara. I'm not ready for this show to end. I'm gonna cry.
To our next adventure.
Oh, I love Esme being part of this.
You know her as Kara Danvers.
Why is there a huge city screen right outside her apartment and everywhere?
Tonight, it is my great honor to introduce to you Supergirl.
Oh. Kara. It's just hit me that this show is over. that was such a beautiful finale in every way. I can't believe it's actually done. Like, I'm very emotional about that. I miss Kara already, and I don't even know where to begin. So Lex and Nixley just got sucked into the Phantom Zone, and then we're just gonna forget about them forever. Is perfection. Lex can be with his one true love himself in the Phantom Zone. I do feel really bad for Nixley that she ended up in the Phantom Zone again, trapped, but it was the consequences of her own actions. If once she'd escaped, she'd come to Kara and she'd tried to do it peacefully, Kara would have helped her. You know, the only reason Kara didn't help her there was because she was saying things like how she wanted to destroy worlds and leaving Kara's dad to die and things like that. So that was a very fitting ending for them in a lot of ways, even if I do feel a little bit bad for Nixley, even. Seeing all the old characters was everything. Cat Grant being the voice of wisdom that she I mean, in season 1, I had my issues with Cat Grant, I can't lie. I didn't appreciate the kind of bullying boss behaviour that she had. I know that, like, it was meant to be like, oh, isn't she a strong, powerful woman? And I was like, she doesn't need to belittle others. But on the whole, I did, of course, love Cat Grant. So I'm really glad to see that we got to have her back in the finale and that she got to be the one to help push Kara to make a decision that she's maybe been working her way towards all this time, but has been so scared to take. And then seeing Win and just seeing him just being so happy and him so proud of his friends because he knows how the future goes, that was everything. Having the original 3 super friends with James there, everything. The speeches before the wedding, like the family moments together, they make me so happy, and just for Esme to get to be a part of that love, beyond beautiful. Obviously my favourite part of the episode, I cannot lie, was seeing Monel again. I missed him so much. And just seeing those shots of all of them together, all of them meaning Win. And I know Jeremy Jordan wanted to leave the show, but including like having Monel there, having just the whole team, we could have had more of that. I can't lie. And the whole concept of like, oh, we're going to be like, Win hasn't visited, this is like the wedding was the 3rd time he'd visited ever since he left. And it's like, you literally have a time machine. You could be like, alright, there's a big battle in the future tomorrow, I'm just going to pop to the past and then be back in time for the battle. It's not like the times move at a linear pace. But no, seeing Monel again was absolutely everything. Seeing them fight together, work together, knowing how much Kara still inspires him to this day, how much, I mean, we already knew he went and he founded the Legion on Kara, and so everything that she's done has just built that future into an even brighter place, and that means the world to me. I will touch more on like some other things with that towards the end of my review. I'm just so happy for Alex and Kelly. Just, they deserve this so much. Alex, thinking about where we met her in season 1 to where she is now, she deserves this so much, this future, this hope. They all do, you know, they have left planet Earth in hope that people are going to work together for their better path. Now, the slightly awkward thing there is that other shows in the same universe exist, which means when there's no hope in Gotham, it'll be like, but Supergirl, I feel like they still need Kara to be in her own universe for that to fully feel like it's going to be the world-changing thing it will be, because, I mean, I'm sure potentially in Batwoman tomorrow they'll be like, oh, did you hear Supergirl or whatever, you know, that was weird. Maybe not, I don't know. But given that they're in the same universe, the message of hope, I feel like National City's going to get really great, and then everywhere else is still going to have the same old struggles, though obviously National City would also have struggles. But that message from this episode was so powerful because it's the message Supergirl has tried to spread since day one in many different forms. And I've loved this show because it's never shied away from tackling issues, it's never shied away from slapping you in the face with the issues, because there are some people that need to be slapped in the face with the issues. I am so proud of this show for everything it's achieved. I'm so proud of Kara as a character. She means the world to me, and I'm getting a bit choked up thinking about how I'm not going to have every year Kara to watch every week, because she just means the world. She is such an important character because she's not perfect. She makes mistakes. She tries her best always, but sometimes she loses her way. Her kindness, her compassion, her goodness, her hope. Having seen her through the dark moments where she was losing that all the way through to the moments where she got it back, that is everything to me. And she's been an absolute inspiration. Her friendship with Lena, I'm glad Lena has found her way to being the best version of herself, partly through her friendship with Kara. She has that effect on people. And you know that Lena was the one that was able to help her see she should be Kara and not hide behind Supergirl anymore. And just seeing that kind of the effect Lillian had on Lena her whole life, hiding this other part of her from herself. I still think Lena being magical is the weirdest plotline they came up with. It worked. They pulled it off. I don't know how, but when, like, if I was planning out the arc of a season and I was like, with 10 episodes of the 6th season to go, I'm gonna make that character a witch, I wouldn't have done it, but they did it well. She did get the magic understanding very quickly, but then I also think it's because it was such an innate part of her that once she began trusting it more and more and more, she was able to do it. So for Lena to realise kind of that this is who she is, that everything she did when she was trying to brainwash the world sucked, but that she can be the best version of herself and help others also find their best versions of themselves, absolutely everything. I'm proud of Jean, and the idea that he and Megan are going to get to have a baby. I mean, Win, now he's going to be under a lot of performance anxiety, don't you realise? Don't tell people things, it makes it weird. As much as, like, I would love someone to come from the future and to tell me if I get the things I want in life, if I'm able to start a family one day and all that kind of thing. I also feel like if someone tells me, oh, it happens on this date, I'm going to be, I don't think I'd want to know because there's too much pressure to make it all happen. But regardless, that is such a beautiful thing that obviously they knew it wouldn't, if they tried to cram that into this season, it wouldn't have made sense. It would have been too quick, it would have been too much. So I really enjoy that they just kind of gave that to us as viewers to know that was happening in the future. So it was beautiful, it was perfect, it was absolutely everything. I want to touch quickly on a couple of things that still irk me ever so slightly with this show. And we know this show has a part of its fandom that is extraordinarily toxic, and I know it's on multiple sides, but I think it was very telling in this finale that they were like, we aren't going to give the Caramel shippers or the Supercorp shippers what they want, because Kara was very clear to Lena in saying friendship, and then Mon-El was like, I know we have a time machine and I could visit whenever I wanted, but I cannot possibly leave. Brainy got to be like, fuck the future, I'm coming here, but no, Mon-El was like, nope, I can't even come on holiday, can't even pop back for the wedding. That doesn't track for me. Especially as I know Brainy had his emotion inhibitors, but season 3, they built Kara and Mon-El back together as getting back together up. They really did. And like, the reason I know that is because I was watching that season and I was hopeful, but I was not expectant, especially when he was married and all those shenanigans. I was hopeful that they wouldn't give us these longing looks and all the teasing and everything, and I made a whole video about it. And then suddenly in the finale, Brainy was like, Mon-El, you must go to the future for my sake, bye. And that now, when they need him to do the exact same thing, Brainy's like, fuck that, I'm not doing it. It's funny to me because it really just makes the writing for Mon-El not being able to come back make less sense. You know, I don't hate it as much as I would have done back in the day. I think they gave us actual closure between them. They hugged, you know, they were able to kind of, there was none of that like, oh, we always go back. They just were at peace with each other, and that's what kind of, it helped heal the wound that season 3 did create in me a little bit. But I think the truest ending for Kara would have been to have everything. And everything for Kara includes love. Because she has wanted that. And I know now I am at peace as well, because I mean, we can write the, I mean, if you really ship Supercorp, you can decide that in a year's time they both realise they're gay and fall in and realise they're in love and they get married and have 10 kids. If that's how you want a headcanon the future, beyond any time they mention her in the other shows, that is what you can do, and I will support you. I will disagree with you respectfully, but I will support you. Just like my personal headcanon is going to be that once in the future they fix Brainy's decision that his life mattered more than everyone else's. I fully support Brainy, I do. I am just making glib jokes because Mon-El didn't get to do the same thing. And people said Mon-El was the selfish one. In my personal headcanon, once the future was somewhat stable, Mon-El was able to trust that just like Kara doesn't have to take it all on her shoulders, he doesn't have to take it all on his shoulders, and he has created a legion. He has helped make people become heroes. They'll be okay. He can come and live the life he chooses. And in my personal headcanon, he came back and, you know, said to Kara, like, if you want me to leave, I will leave and I will never come back. That is okay. Never, no, like, he was respectful and pressured just like he was back in the day, but he said, but this is the time I came from. This is the time we had something special, and I would like to see if it was still there. And in my personal headcanon, of course, they try, it works out, and they live happily ever after. And I believe their first child is a boy. Not going in real life, but you know, I just think, like, for me, that would have been the right ending. That was the ending that was built up. But you know what else for me? Mon-El saying there's no reason. That was when Brainy was going to go back to the future. That was when things were going to be different. Now, things are totally different from that future, so my headcanon cannot be disproved. And you can disagree with me respectfully. If anyone disagrees with me rudely, like, I'm disagreeing with you respectfully. I don't care. That's the beauty of headcanons. And it's not even, you know, like, when I've watched some shows, I've been like, and then that character came back from the dead, and then they're like, totally crazy, whereas this is totally within canon. But I think if you're someone that doesn't particularly care who Kara ends up with, part of that was just simply because they were kind of setting her up with William, and I know no one was overly mad about that, but then they were suddenly like, William has a paediatrician girlfriend, William's dead. I feel like Kara, back in season 2, and then she kind of didn't do it again until they tried with William because of all the vicious shipping. One side was worse than the other, I can't lie, but there were also wonderful people on both sides. I don't hate shippers. I feel like the way that they were suddenly like, and Kara doesn't get love in her life. Now, obviously, the way they've set it up, a big hurdle for her in relationship with anybody other than people like Mon-El, who already knew, was that she was leading this double life. So at what point do you tell them, how do you tell them, etc. With William, down the line, she would have had to tell him. He died never knowing. Poor idiot. No, I'm sorry, that's very disrespectful to William. I think for Kara, now that she is just living as Kara, living her truth, being Kara Danvers, being Supergirl, you know, she's just one person. She doesn't have that anymore. She will have different struggles because there will be men who will be intimidated by her, or there'll be men who will be like fangirling, you know, they'll be creepy stalkering her rather than genuinely liking her and all that kind of thing. There are different hurdles she'll have to face, but she doesn't have that hurdle anymore. So when she will find love again, and it will be beautiful. But obviously that love will be Mon-El, because they had something and they never properly resolved it. They resolved it enough in this episode for me to have closure with what they gave us, but I think it was very obvious that the showrunners were like, we are just gonna leave Kara loveless. Neither side is winning here. When, for her character, I think it would have made much more sense for her and Mon-El to have a go at things. And even like a scene where like he turned up at the door and he was like, mate, can we try things? And they leave it there. We don't know. You know, I think that would have been a better ending, but I can also see that they were walking the fine line of not wanting Supercorp shippers to go online and scream abuse and hatred at them, which happened a lot. I know, like, oh my god, I know his name! The actor that played Lena's ex. I know his name. Stupid freaking CFS making my brain go to fog. Like, that actor was, like, abused off social media because he played Lena's ex. And there are also horrible Garmel shippers. It is on both sides, but one side, I think because they never got canon, were worse, if that makes sense. And I've also met some people who ship it who are lovely, so please, this is not an attack. But I think part of it was like, we can't give it to either side. And had they suddenly in the finale been like, oh, by the way, they're both gay and they're together. I mean, gay doesn't really matter. I just feel like when Alex came out, Kara would have been like, oh, I'm also gay. Or, you know, oh, you have, like, it would have been more of a plotline. It would have annoyed people like me who were like, but what? Like, if you'd built that into the show, it would have been fine, but just whamming it with us in the finale. I get why they did that, but there's that part of me that's also like, that was a little bit of a coward's way out, because Kara has everything and she has the ability to get everything. She has the ability for a bright future, but it would have been so easy to literally give her everything in the finale, and most fans who watch TV aren't like us, aren't overanalyzers. They just watch it and they enjoy what they get. And so the main relationship Kara has had romantically was with Mon-El. So the main viewers would be like, oh, that's nice, she got back with him. It would have been the great hurdle that they had to face. So that's just my slight nitpicking, and it does come from the fact that Kara is my favourite character and my favourite part of the show, but my close second favourite part of the show was Kara and Mon-El's relationship. It really, there was something about season 2 that just sparked so much in me. It was in a rough time in my life, and it brought me so much happiness. And then, you know, it hurt me a lot often just going online and seeing people acting like I was a terrible person because I shipped a couple, and hurling abuse at those characters that just wasn't founded. I've tried so hard I've never done the opposite. You know, my criticisms of Lena came at a time when she was being a supervillain, but as soon as she atoned for that and turned it around, I love Lena. I loved her before and I love her after. I try so hard to make this page not be a page of toxicity. If I ever get an irrational disliking of a character, because I understand it happens to the best of us, I avoid reacting about them, or I try to leave them off my page, because I just think there's enough toxicity and negativity in the world. This should be a place where you can come and find someone that loves what you love. So yeah, my headcanon for Kara is she gets to be Kara and Supergirl. She's the editor of Catco. Given that Catco and everyone knows she's Supergirl, if she just has to leave work suddenly, they'll be used to it. Her assistant editor will be loving it because they'll get to do a bit extra work. Mon-El comes back and they make things work, and it's really, really beautiful. And Lena builds her foundation. Alex and Kelly continue to raise Esme. Maybe they even adopt another child down the line, I don't know. But they have a beautiful family together. John and Magan find their way back to each other, just like Kara and Manel are going to, and they have a beautiful family. Win in the future, he comes back to visit all the time, or at least somewhat regularly, and his kids get to know Esme and everything else, and it's just Nia and Brainy get to live happily ever after. The future, Monel comes back, and when he comes, he's like, oh, you know, we were so inspired by the events here in Kara's speech that someone found a way around it. Like 3 different Kaluans all did X, Y, Z, and it made this happen, and now everything's fine in the future. And I realised that they could take care of themselves, and just everyone gets to live happily ever after. That is how I view the ending of this show. James is happy. Lena is happy. If I didn't mention someone and they're a good character, they're happy. My main takeaway from the show is, like I said, it's had its problems, and a lot of that came from the fandom. It came from, in season 3, the way the writers suddenly averted course, which I think was to appease the very loud, angry part of the fandom. And then it's had problems because it's been a show that has raised issues. It's had things that were mimicking the white supremacy movement and being anti-guns and like Black Lives Matter, and there are racist idiots out there. The same idiots, to be honest, who were like, oh, Supergirl was a bad show because it's about a woman. It's essentially the level of their intellect. But no, it's had its issues with people hating on it, but I think this show has made 6 seasons. It has had its good moments, its dark moments, its wobbles, its light. It is one of the only shows that has hurt me as much as the end of season 3 did, that I kept watching, and that says something about the show, because the other one was Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. when they killed Lincoln, but you know, I got through that. This was better because I can headcanon it all into being fine. Just, this show ultimately speaks for hope, and I think the bits that have hurt me the most have been the bits when they've like taken the hope and thrown it in the bin, and then taken the bin and dumped it in the toilet and then flushed it into the sewage tank and then emptied the sewage tank into a beautiful ocean that did not deserve to have it in it. You know, I think that is the points that have hurt me. But on the whole, this show, it is inspirational, and these last season has been so good for that. I loved it. Like, these last 2 episodes were phenomenal with that. They leave you feeling hopeful, and that's what the early Supergirl did. It lost its way for me in the middle a little bit, but it found its way back to itself. Kara's character has never wavered. The strength of her character, her importance. I'm so thankful for her. I'm so thankful that I have 6 seasons of her, that I can carry her and her messages in my heart, and I do hope we get to see her again. So yeah, this was a truly beautiful finale. It was not perfect in my opinion. It was somewhat cowardly in a couple of ways. Killing William also, I feel so bad for him, because I really do feel like that was just their way of, I don't understand. I don't really get why they did it. It did raise the stakes and it was emotional, but it's also so near the end of the show that I kind of, no one's going to care that much, and I feel so bad for William because that kind of sums up his character. None of us cared quite as much as we were supposed to, but we did like him, because I love William, but I feel awful. I think they could have done more with Kara and Monel just because they built him up for so long, but then they have also refused to mention his name ever since season 3, apart from when he showed up in the 100th episode. So yeah, this was a good episode. It was a very, very good finale. Almost perfect. Part of an almost perfect season. Kara's character is everything to me. I hope you enjoyed my reaction. I don't know if you've listened this long into my reviews. I hope you enjoyed the review portion. I hope you're not. I mean, and if you are still watching for some reason and disagree with me, that's fine. Tell me your headcanons in the comments if you'd like. I love that. But there's no need to be like angry about it, because there are some reactors who I just don't watch because I know they spend most of their reactions imagining that Kara and Lena are going to get together any second, and that is totally valid. Like I said, if they want to do that, watch their reactions. I just watch their other show reactions because that's just not for me, and that is okay. So yeah, this was the end of Supergirl. It doesn't feel real. Part of me still does feel like next year I'm going to sit down and watch another episode. But yeah, that was it. I can't wait to see Kara again at some point when she pops up, and I'm going to hold on to that hope in my heart. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and thank you, Supergirl.